Welcome to Biology, the scientific study of life. Plant nutrition. A nutritional network. Every organism continuously exchanges energy and materials with its environment. At the level of the ecosystem, plants and other photosynthetic autotrophs perform the key step of transforming inorganic compounds into organic compounds. Autotrophic, however, does not mean autonomous. Plants need light as the energy source of photosynthesis. In order to synthesize organic matter, plants also require raw materials in the form of inorganic nutrients, water, minerals, and carbon dioxide for a typical plant. Water and minerals come from the soil, while carbon dioxide comes from the air. The branching root system and the shoot system of a vascular plant, as shown in this figure, ensure extensive networking with both of these reservoir of inorganic nutrients. uh, Plants require certain chemical elements to complete their life cycle. Watch a large plant grow from a tiny seed, and you cannot help wondering where all the mass comes from. Aristotle thought that soil provided the substance for plant growth because plants seem to spring from the ground. He believed that leaves of flowering plants simply shedded developing fruit. In the 17th century, John Baptist van Helmont performed an experiment to test the hypothesis that plants grow by consuming soil. He planted a small willow in a pot that contained 90.9 kilograms of soil. After 5 years, the willow had grown. The willow had grown into a tree weighing 76.8 kilograms, but only 0.06 kilograms of soil had disappeared from the pot. He concluded that the willow had grown mainly from the water he had added regularly. A century later, an English physiologist named Stephen Hollis postulated that plants are nourished mostly by air. There is some truth to all three hypotheses because soil, water, and air all contribute to plant growth, as shown in this video. Plants extract mineral nutrients, essential chemical elements from the soil in the form of inorganic ions. Plants acquire nitrogen from, for example, in the form of nitrate ions in O-3. However, mineral nutrients add little to the plant's overall mass. Typically, 80 to 90% of a plant is water, and plants grow mainly by accumulating water in the central vacuoles of their cells. Water is also a nutrient that supplies most of of the hydrogen atoms and some of the oxygen atoms incorporated into organic compounds by photosynthesis. Still, only a small fraction of the water that enters a plant contributes some to organic molecules. For example, it has been estimated that more than 90% of the water absorbed by maize plants is lost by transpiration. The water retained by a plant serves three main functions. It acts as a solvent, provides most of the volume for cell elongation, and helps maintain the form of soft tissue by keeping cells turgid. By weight, the bulk of a plant's organic material is derived not from water or soil minerals, but from the CO2 that is assimilated from the air. We can measure water content by comparing the weight of plant material before and after it is dried. We can then analyze the chemical composition of the dry residue Organic substances account for about 96% of the dry weight, with inorganic substances making up the remaining 4%. Most of the organic material is carbohydrate, including the cellulose of cell walls. Thus, the components of carbohydrates, carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen, are the most abundant elements in the dry weight of a plant. Because some organic molecules contain nitrogen, sulfur, or phosphorus, these elements are also relatively abundant in plants. Micronutrients and micronutrients. More than 50 chemical elements have been identified among the inorganic substances in plants. In studying the chemical composition of plants, we must distinguish elements that are essential from those that are merely present in the plant. Essential from those that are merely present. A chemical element is considered an essential element if it is required for a plant to complete a life cycle and produce another generation. To some extent, the chemical elements in a plant reflect the soil composition. Plants growing on mine tailings, for instance, may contain gold or silver, but these minerals have no nutritional function and therefore are not essential. To determine which chemical elements are essential elements, researchers use hydroponic culture, in which plants are grown in mineral solutions instead of soil. As shown, this hydroponic culture, this research method, studies have helped identify 17 essential elements that are needed by all plants. This is the table. 9 of the essential elements are called macronutrients because plants require them in relatively large amounts. 6 of these are the major components of organic compounds forming the structure of a plant: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. The other 3 macronutrients are potassium, calcium, and magnesium. The remaining 8 essential elements are known as micronutrients because plants need them in very small amounts. They are chlorine, iron, manganese, boron, zinc, copper, nickel, and molybdenum. Micronutrients function in plants mainly as cofactors, non-protein helpers in enzymatic reaction. Iron, for example, is a metallic components of cytochromes, the proteins in the electron transport chains of chloroplasts and mitochondria. It is because micronutrients generally play catalytic roles that plants need only minutes quantities. The requirement of molybdenum, for instance, is so modest that there is only 1 atom of this rare element for every 60 million atoms of hydrogen in dried plant material. Yet a deficiency of molybdenum or any other micronutrients can weaken or kill a plant. Let's read the table. Essential elements in plants. Elements, macronutrients: carbon, CO2, mass in dry tissue, 45%. Major functions, major component of a plant's organic compounds: oxygen, CO2, 45%. Major component of a plant's organic compounds: hydrogen, H2O, 6%. Major component of a plant's organic compound: nitrogen, NO3 minus, NH4 positive, 1.5% component of nucleic acids, proteins, hormones, chlorophyll coenzymes. Potassium, K positive, 1.0% cofactor that function in protein synthesis, measures solute functioning in water balance, operation of stomata. Calcium, Ca to the power 2 positive, 0.5% important information as stability of cell walls and maintenance of membrane structure and permeability activity. Some enzymes regulate many responses of cells to stimuli. Magnesium Mg to the power 2 positive 0.2% component of chlorophyll activities many enzymes. Phosphorus H2PO minus 4 HPO4 to the power 2 minus 0.2% component of nucleic acids, phospholipid, ATP, several coenzymes. Sulfur CO4 to the power 2 minus 0.1% component of proteins coenzymes. Micronutrients chlorine Cl minus 0.01% 1 part of 10 required for water splitting step of photosynthesis functions in water balance also. Iron Fe3 positive to the power Fe to the power 2 positive 0.01% or 1 part of 10 components of cytochromes activity some enzymes. Manganese Mn to the power 2 positive 0.05% or 5 part of 100 active information of amino acids activities some enzymes required for water splitting step of photosynthesis. Boron H2PO3 minus 0.002% or 2 part of 100 cofactor in chlorophyll synthesis may be involved in carbohydrate transport and nucleic acid synthesis role in cell wall function. Zinc Zn to the power 2 positive 0.002% or 2 part of 100 active information of chlorophyll activities some enzyme. Copper Cu positive Cu to the power 2 positive more than 0.001% or 1 part of 100 component of many redox and linen biosynthetic enzymes. Nickel Ni to the power 2 positive more than 1 part of 100 cofactor for an enzyme function in nitrogen metabolism. Molybdenum MO4 to the power 2 minus 1 part of 1000 or 1 part of 1000 essential for symbiotic relationship with nitrogen fixing bacteria cofactor that functions in nitrate reduction.